chocolate. Can you boys play something the children can dance to?
Yeah, we can do that.
Hey, Zachy, what are these pedals you got here, man?
Hey, JD's, I made these out in the garage. I've never used a soldering gun before, but I figured, what could go wrong? Hey, Father Jeff, you ready to do this? Did you just blow up little Timmy's birthday cake?
I'm sorry. Yar?
No, I don't think so.
Close your eyes. Set you free. Close your eyes, and you will see.
There's people ask, it's just like, so is that what you do now? I said, yes, the music business isn't what it used to be, so we do play 11-year-old birthday parties now.
And blow up cakes.
Bar mitzvahs, circumcisions, all of them, it doesn't matter. $100 is $100.
Are you playing lots of bar mitzvahs and birthdays in your native New Jersey?
No,
Just
but we have done the keg parties and kitchens, and yeah, we've done those before. It's all good.
So we want to talk to you, obviously, about your new album, Grimmest Hits, which is your 10th studio album. And it's not a greatest hits album, which I keep thinking because I keep saying grimmest and I think greatest. And we just saw the video for Room Full of Nightmares where Timmy's cake gets blown up. But I think it perfectly encapsulates what we can expect from you. You know, really great music, but a lot of humor. You inject humor into your presentation.
People are asking, they're like, is it a greatest hits? And I go, in order for it to be a greatest hits, you have to have hits.
And be great.
So we have no hits, so no, it's not a greatest hits, it's grimmest hits. So the lyrics are grim, and there are no hits. So this way, you shoot low, because somebody could listen to it and go, well, it's not as grim as I thought it'd be. I go, well, there you go, it's a win.
Right, right. Keep the expectations low. So for you, this is your 10th studio album that you've done. And what keeps you still wanting to do this, still wanting to put out records with Black Label and as on your own? What makes you what keeps you going? What's the grist for the mill?
Well, because I got friends. I'm 50 now, but it's just because I got buddies that don't like touring anymore. I'm just saying when I first started with Oz, that are just like, dude, Zakk, you still tour, man? I'm like, yeah, because I love it. But I'd imagine if you didn't like it, then you wouldn't do it, But I love the whole process of everything. I love each time we go in to make a record. To me, it's just like I get just as excited as the first time we did the first Ozzy record. So to me, I guess it's just like playing sports. Even if we won the Super Bowl, it's the excitement of the next season, and then getting ready for the whole brand new season and see what we can do on this next run. So I get that's how I feel all the time. But I enjoy the whole process of it. We just got done doing a Zakk Sabbath run, because I got to fit it in, with the Immortal Beloved. It's the same thing. Can you fit me in for an appointment? You know what I mean? So we got to, with your time. So it's just like, well, how much time do I have when I'm home to do the next Black Label album? It's like, well, you got 3 weeks before the guys come out. All right, well, that means I got to write a record in 3 weeks. So, you got a time frame, so you got to do it. So each morning you wake up, have some Valhalla Java, sit down, and I'll sit down with the practice amp and just start writing riffs until I get something I'm happy with.
And for you, what are you still finding yourself still discovering? Like, you've been playing guitar for so long. You're so revered and respected for what you do. Are you still at that point where you're still learning new things as you do this?
I think with all musicians, if there's a jazz thing you want to learn from Joe Pass, or you hear something that you dig, you learn it. You know what I mean? You still practice, or I still have all my Ted Green books and stuff like that. So, the learning thing never ends. Or just working out new, and and then it just comes down to writing. Just writing new songs or writing new things or just stuff like that.
Was there anything on this new record, Grimmest Hits, that was particularly challenging or outside of your comfort zone for you, or was it just you doing what you do and just kind of getting it done?
I think with everyone, I think technically you get to a certain degree of. Technically, because I still practice all the time, still run scales and stuff like that. So, but no, if something's challenging, you just learn it, you work on it, and you do it until you can get it. So, no, nothing real. Because like you said, it just comes down to songs and riffs and stuff like that. And like when we're doing Black Label records, when you think about Mount, riff more, it would have to be, you got Lord Iommi, you got Tony Iommi, you got the Pont of Jimmy Page, you got Poe Page, and you got the Dark Knight, you got Richie Blackmore up there. So as far as pontiffs of the rock riff, those three guys, it's just and I always say, you take away as many, with Iron Man, Smoke on the Water, or Whole Lotta Love, you can play those riffs on basically 2 strings or 1 string. So it basically either right on the bass, riffs, or just right on a guitar with just on low E string or the A string. So if you just on 2 strings, you write a riff. So it's almost kind of like the most limited amount of crayons you have to see how many colors you can come up with.
And I think it's interesting too that you obviously just gave us a lesson into your process, but you said that you still practice. And I think that's amazing for you to say, because I think there's a lot of aspiring guitarists who might get tired and get frustrated and they're just learning. And here's somebody like you who's achieved the level of, notoriety and success that you have, and you still, are still rehearsing.
I still enjoy it. I still enjoy running scales and practicing, and, so to me it's, like I said, I guess if I was a retired boxer or something, I would still go to the gym, I'd still lift weights, and I would still hit the speed bag and about it, just to get a workout in.
You hear that, kids? You should keep practicing. And then, what's the grimmest song on Grimmest Hits? Is there one song that's maybe the darkest, or do you have a song that's your favorite? And I know
the most joyous part of the record is before you put it on and when it ends. But
of course it is.
But no, it's just. No, I mean each, you know, like you said, I mean like each one of the songs is like, what's your favorite song or whatever. You know, I mean, whenever you do records, I think it's just whatever mood you're in. You know what I mean? Like you know, there's still mellow songs on the record, and you got the riff-driven songs as well. So.
Another thing that I'm sure your fans are really excited to see is that after an 8-year break, you're back with the boss. You're back with Ozzy because he's on his, you know, doing his swan song. How are you looking? How are you? I guess what are you most excited about there, and what are you most looking forward to with that?
Well, I mean, basically
union?
the reason we're together and the reason why we're going to be doing shows, and we're going to be touring up to 2020 is the game plan. Before the Conor McGregor fight against Mayweather, Oz said, all the money, Zakk, you've made since you started with me up until this point, put it all on McGregor to win the fight. So we both did that. I said, but Oz, you sure? He goes, I have some inside information. So now we're both penniless and we live down in a van by the river. So
You have no choice.
we'll be touring. Yes, this is the bad investment tour. And then hopefully we won't make any other bad investments to keep the tour going to 2024.
I think the inside information, you better not trust that anymore.
Yeah, I don't think we'll take Ozzy's advice on the next fight.
So this is something I've always wanted to ask, actually. What's one of your favorite memories of, you know, working with Ozzy? You know, is there one thing that stands out, whether it's a tour, a show, or just working on something together that's really the best?
I always said it's a miracle we ever got any work done just because we were always cracking up laughing all the time. I mean, because all you got to do is actually watch anything with Ozzy, whether it's anything with him involved with it, or just pictures of himself. He'll just be taking the piss out of it, and then, or just watching anything, he'll just be tearing it to shreds. Just you'll be on the floor crying, laughing within 5 minutes. But no, I remember, you know, when probably the first gig I ever did with him at Wormwood Scrubs, my like audition gig. This was back when I was probably 20 years old. So we were playing at a lifer prison, and at this point I had the poofy hair, and I was a young blossoming Hollywood starlet with petite breasts at that point. And,
Spray tan.
Yeah, so I was the closest thing to Pamela Anderson these fellas were going to see probably in a long time. So I was just hoping that I passed the audition.
So,
They would have enjoyed me thoroughly.
I'm just getting the visual still of you as the, you know, young blossom. So in the time that you had away, you know, you did records and you kept doing what you were doing. And I guess, you know, when you took that break with Ozzy, was it just needed? Like, was it just something that you both felt you needed to do? Or, I mean, did you always think you would reunite?
I was playing with Guns N' Roses at the time, and then Oz was like, you know, I was just jamming with the guys because Gilby wasn't playing with the fellas at the time, and it would, you know, they were just like, well, why don't we just ask Zakk if he wants to jam or whatever. So I was playing with the fellas. It was actually when we were in New York working on Osmosis at the time. So I was jamming with the guys, and then Oz was like, Zakk, are you gonna do the tour or what's going, you know? So I couldn't get an answer from the fellas, and it was just kind of like just sitting around, and then Oz was like, Zakk, I got to get somebody else, man. I can't just be sitting around here waiting until the last minute or whatever. And I, you know, completely understand that. So that was, at that point, that's when Joe Holmes came in the band. And Joe's a buddy, and he's an amazing player and stuff like that. So Joe was killing it with the boss, and then nothing was happening with the Guns guys. So I was just like, I got a beer tab I got to pay off. So I just was like, that's when Black Label was born, and I had all these riffs laying around. So I just said, I'll just do it myself. Mm-hmm. So that was about it.
Another thing, too, going back to Grimmest Hits and watching the video for Roomful of Nightmares, you know, the humor that's in there with the seriousness of the playing, you know, the music is always paramount, but you've always had a sense of humor with your self-deprecating, and you always, you know, make a joke about everything. How much input do you have in a video like that? Does somebody just come to the idea, or do you say, hey, let's blow up?
No, I said, let's definitely play a children's party. So, you know, and then we just sorted it out, and we got everybody together, and we just knocked that out. And I just ordered a bunch of costumes for all the fellas online, and that was it.
Were there a lot of terrified children, though, on set that day?
No, actually, all the kids had a blast, man. You know, so
I guess they get to see rock and roll up close for the first time, probably, and their minds are probably totally blown.
No, it was definitely a good time.
I wonder if
the
there'll
kids were
be-
super cool. So yeah, without a doubt.
I wonder if there'll be some kid that was in that video that might eventually pick up a guitar after.
Oh, if there is, then God bless them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Did anybody accidentally get punched in the face? Because there was a lot of, really well choreographed fake punches being thrown. But I'm wondering, did anybody actually, get clocked accidentally?
No, but I did pull a hamstring with all the dancing. So but put aside of that, that was about the only injuries.
So another question, which a lot of your fans are going to want to know, is what's the upcoming tour plans?
What's the question again?
Tour plans? What will you be?
Oh, we're getting ready to head out. I guess this month. I guess the December 27th. We start rolling right after Christmas, and then right up until I guess the album comes out on January 19th. But we're going out with Corrosion of Conformity, so I'm buddies with Pepper and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to rolling with him. And then we also have I Hate God, and Red Fang is going to be rolling with us.
Right,
So
like a
yeah,
nice
a bunch
mix.
of ass-kicking bands and great guys. So looking forward to that.
And are you going to do any more videos from the record? And if so, what song?
Well, yeah, we got the other one, All That Once Shined, and then after that, we're going to be working on another one. I think we'll Trample Down Below. So yeah, why not?
And what are some of the topics that you explore, on the record? Is there any specific, really meaningful song for you that you wrote?
Lyrically, for me, I mean, it's either things that have happened to me or things I've seen happen to other people, or if I'm reading a book and I just get inspired by that. But I mean, like when I wrote the song "Crazy Horse," my friend was like, "What's it about?" I go, "It's about a horse that's crazy." I was just like, it's about Crazy Horse, the Indian. So. And just reading a quick bio on him, and then I just like kind of, I just wrote the lyrics from there, just on a short bio of him. So that's what the lyrics are about. But it could be that, or anything, but or religion or war and stuff like stuff that I'm interested in and stuff that I read. Right. But yeah, that's pretty much about it.
And is there anything that you do like before you, either before you take the stage or before you go on the road, any like really pre-show either ritual or how baseball players are super superstitious about things? They have to either hold the ball the same way or touch this part of their leg before they, step into the batter's box. Just, is there anything you do that's like the Zakk Wylde ritual?
More so when I'm playing with Ozzy, because there's a couple satanic rituals before the show. Then we
Some blood
convert back to
sacrifices.
Catholicism after the show. So. It's quite exhausting. It's quite the production, but it's quite the balancing act. But
right.
It's like eating, trying to balance a diet of White Castle with Jenny Craig, just to balance that out. So but
really works.
Yeah, it's all worth it at the end of the day. But no, nothing really. I just noodle on the fiddle for a little bit, and then off we go.
So
make sure I shave my legs so I don't rip my fishnet stockings, because I'm telling you, at the end of a tour, that definitely adds up.
We all know that you're a huge sports fan and you're a huge Yankees fan. How are you? Are you looking forward to next season already, or what's?
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees. No one thought they were going to do good this year. So I mean, it was amazing that they got as far as they did.
What do you think about
I mean, that's just nothing but positive. And then you got now Father Boone is going to be coaching them. So
I was going to say, what do you think about Girardi
kicked
getting
ass
fired?
as a Yankee, so why not? So you know what I mean. But Joe Girardi going, I don't know why that happened. I mean, it just he did nothing but win the whole time he was there. So, I mean, you can't win the World Series every year.
Right.
Even if you're the Yankees.
Well, it sort of feels like it. I'm not a Yankees fan, but it feels like they're always winning. So.
Well, they're always in the thick of things. Sure.
And then, I'm from New Jersey my whole entire life. You're from New Jersey. What's the one thing, do you think there's like one misconception about the great Garden State that you'd like to clear up? Because I feel like everybody thinks the Jersey Shore is representative of everybody in New Jersey, and it's totally not.
No, I mean, me growing up in Jersey, I had a great time growing up there. I mean, between all my friends and just listening to music and stuff like that. And I had a great time. And then the Jersey Shore just was so much I don't think it was like that TV show, but I mean, it's just, but I definitely got friends like that. But I mean, the whole thing is.
They exist. They do exist. That's why the show is.
Yeah, that's not made up. But I mean, but no, the Jersey Shore, I always had a great time. Whenever we go back during the summer and stuff like that, me and my wife and stuff like that, we'll go with the kids. Definitely hit the Jersey Shore. Jenkinson's, the bar, and everything like that. It's all good.
So you still got the, obviously the Jersey roots, even if you're not living there anymore. So is there anything else that you want to say about Grimmest Hits that we have not touched on yet? Is there anything about this record or about going back out with Ozzy or about touring or anything related to the new album that we haven't touched on?
No, I think we covered it all because I have a anal bleaching appointment I have to get to right after this. So
well, we do not
keep moving forward here so I can get to that.
Well, we don't want to have
because I do enjoy a lengthy appointment at the bleaching.
Well, we don't want you to be late. We don't want you to miss that appointment because, it's important.
The anal bleaching appointment, I show up and they're like, Zakk, we just did you 2 days ago. I go, yeah, I know.
I can't even imagine.
Just a little touch up.
So I guess we can open it up to questions from the audience right now.
Hi, Zakk. You picked up a guitar seriously when you were a freshman in high school, and you would play for like 12 hours or overnight. I wanted to ask, can you describe like what feeling, like what created this passion for music, and if you felt like that about anything else besides the guitar?
Oh, when I started playing, you're talking about? Well, no, I mean, no, probably when I actually decided I was going to play music, probably when I was about 14 or 15, when I saw my guitar teacher, Leroy Wright, playing, to physically see somebody doing it in front of me, I was just completely blown away. And I was just like, that's what I want to do with my life. So, I mean, no, at that point, I mean, if I wasn't blessed with having Ozzy in my life and our Black Label family and everything like that, I'd still be either teaching, being a wedding band, a cover band, owning my own music store. So, I mean, but everything would revolve around music. Because, I mean, you really have to have passion for what you want to do in life. And I tell my kids that. I go, just because I play music doesn't, I would never force music on my kids or anything on my kids. It's like whatever it is that you like is what you should be doing. And if you can find a way to make a living doing it, then it's all win-win. It really is. Because who wants to be doing some crappy job and you're sitting there going, what am I doing, man? I mean, there's got to be another way. So, I mean, as long as you're doing what you want to do, as long as, I tell my kids, as long as you're not robbing a bank, you're not spending time in jail, you'll be fine. Just find a passion for something like that. But it really is the truth, man. I mean, there's so many people are just like miserable doing stuff that they can't stand. Or buddies I knew I went to college with that are doing and they can't stand it. I'm like, with our oldest son, he was just like, well, I don't know if I want to be a doctor or what. I go, look at what I go, Jay, man, whatever it is you want to do, you want to be in the music business, you want to be a promoter, you want to be Bill Graham, you want to do that, start your own festivals and everything, do that. Whatever it is that gets your dick hard is what you should be doing it. And as a female, whatever gets my labia going is what I do. You know what I mean? So, but no, but it's the truth though. I mean, you write your own book. There's no sense in being miserable, man. In whatever situation you're in, you should be doing what you love, hands down.
And then we have one more. Alex, go ahead.
Good to see you, Amy.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming here, Zakk. Whenever I hear your guitar work, I can immediately tell it's you. If I close my eyes and if I'm listening to the stuff you've done with Ozzy or Black Label Society, etc., I can immediately tell it's you. But depending on the project that you are with, do you have a different mind frame or a different playing methodology or even different gear depending on who you're playing with?
Well, I mean, definitely when it comes to like like the Pride and Glory stuff or some of the more mellow orientated stuff, whether it's it's kind of like if it's more like the band or Neil Youngish or Eagles or anything Elton Johnish or whatever, the mellow stuff. Obviously, back in the day, I wouldn't present it to Ozzy, but you know what I mean, something that was leaning more towards that. But I mean, like My Mom Coming Home when we did that, and the country lick bend in the beginning and everything like that. If it works, it works. But I don't think in those terms though. I mean, I just play what I love. So if I get inspired by a Neil Young thing or an Eagles thing or a Sabbath thing or a Zeppelin thing. It's just I'll just play what I love playing. But yeah, but I know what you're saying. I mean, as far as mindset or whatever, no. I mean, the only thing I'll think in mindset is if me and you want to put something country-ish or a pedal steel type thing here or whatever type of licks or ingredients or flavors that we want to put in a soup. But that I'll reference. But I mean, No, as far as writing, I just write what I love playing.
Hey, Zakk.
Hey, what's up, bro?
So I was wondering, what was the defining moment for you when you started in the business? Like, you got yourself thinking that, you know, you finally made it. Like, what was that moment for you?
I mean, obviously, definitely meeting Ozzy, you know, and obviously playing with the boss. So, yeah, I would suppose, you know, I guess that would mean you made it to the pros, you know, to the NFL or whatever, or Major League Baseball. But I mean, because I'm playing with Ozzy, so I guess it would be, I guess that would be the point, you know what I mean? But like I always tell kids, I go, until you get to Madison Square Garden, you know, with your band, as long as you can make a living and you're doing you're doing it with the band, as opposed to doing some crummy job that you can't stand, then it's all win-win until you get to where you got to go, you know, which is the truth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling us all the, you know, inside stories with Ozzy and talking about your new record with us, everybody. Zakk Wylde.
Thank you very much.